prove, not really prove, but I'm going to talk about how it's not just about black or white or black. It's about rich and poor. It's about control. America wants control, and the powers that are in control, they're being attacked by other people who want control, and they're using us people as pawns. And I'm going to explain to you my theory about why that is. Because it's just deep, and you know, black people are dying because of this, and they don't show how white people may be dying, or Indians may be dying, or Chinese may be dying, or Jews may be dying. They show black people dying because we're the expendable resource of this country, because it goes back to slavery and days of power, that thing. And, you know, so now we can show public lynchings, and they always know that these public lynchings will get people excited. It's going to get people moved. Well, these public lynchings are happening to us, so we are going to move. But what we also need is help from others, because we're only 13.5% of this country. And at 13.5%, you know what that number means out of 100. There's 14 out of 100. We can't win that war alone unless we separate, unless we do this, do that. And that's, you know how that is. We can't do that right now. So the thing I do on my podcast, and his podcast the same way, I want people to think. And I want you people to think. How can we fight the war? So I'm telling you, some people, once they 13.5%, they're going to get, I'm going to explain this later, but they're going to get a percentage of us. And now, after they finish feeding on us, they're going to feed on you. You might not believe it, but they're probably feeding on you now. And you just don't even see it. So, white America, you need to hear this also, because you're next.
But before we get to that, I want to start out by saying, those of you who are watching us on Facebook and you don't know how to get this podcast, you can get it on Spotify. Just look up Probably Offensive, and you'll get this specific podcast. It will be labeled Probably Offensive number 55 when I do post it. So but we're going to start out with...
check it out, people. Check them out.
Our deaths. Usually I talk about celebrity deaths. But this time we got a personal friend of ours who passed away.
A brother.
There was a basketball player named Terrence Clark who played for the Kentucky Wildcats. And he was only 19 years old. Died in a car accident. He was predicted to be first-round draft pick in the NBA, a one-and-doneer as they call them. But our personal friend, his name was Che Hall. And it was a big shock to me because it was right after we done the last podcast.
We talked about getting everybody together.
Which I found out that Che Hall, a guy that...
he was part of our clique. He was like one of us. Like I was telling y'all last time how we had our own little clique, man. He was part of that, and it just hit us by surprise.
Yeah. A guy that we hung out with.
It was his house that we used to kick it at.
We used to go to Che Hall.
It was his dad's car that we
drove. We used to go to Che Hall's house after school from Roosevelt Middle School and get high.
Hey, not just get high, man. You know, we had girls there. It's just, hey, we can talk about it now because we're older, but hey, when you're 13, 14 years old, man, and you trying to experience the world, and we had a buddy, he brings some weed over.
Yeah.
He knows what it is. We talking. He roll them up perfect. Like, damn, you're 13. How you not roll like that?
Yeah.
We go to school.
We had a buddy who could drive a car at 13 years old.
And that's when we all started driving.
Mr. Fred Oliver. The only 13-year-old I ever met that could drive a car perfectly and when he's high. So all these memories come flooding back to me when I found out that Che Hall had passed away. So my condolences to the friends and family of Che Hall.
One love.
Yeah.
One love.
So
and now with the Terrence Clark issue,
yeah,
I just have a quick thing to say about this because, as a parent, you want the best for your children. Well, he was a one and doneer. He was a baller at Kentucky. First round draft pick, Now, this is where it goes back to y'all. They shouldn't be one and done allowed. No. I'm not going to go down that road. I just want to say one thing to parents out there and the people. You can't control what your child's going to do when they're not in your presence. You can't control what anyone's going to do to your friends when they're not in your presence. But he was 19. You got to hold some money because these agents give these kids money on a promise that they're going to get paid back once they're drafted and the endorsements start coming in and whatnot. But these kids, man, at 19, is he able to handle a couple $1 million? And that's where it goes to. He was in L.A. Nice. I can't remember the name of the sports car, but he's speeding. He's 19, man. So before you talk all he was dumb, he says, no, think back when you were 19.
right.
Think back when you were 19. Now, if somebody gave me millions of dollars like that, I'd have probably done something stupid too. So that's where the older people in his life, the mentors, his agent, his parents. Yes, he's an adult legally,
Yeah.
but mentally at 19, you know that you're not an adult. We're 50 now. We can look back and say that.
Right.
So just people out there, man, you got someone in your family who's about to get a hold of a lot of money, man. Talk to them, slow them down. Ease back, young fella. Just ease back and listen. That's all we can do. And my heart goes out to his family and friends and whatnot. And maybe we can use that as a lesson to save someone else.
And all young people are stupid anyway. So you can't say, "Oh, he's dummy because of this or that." He was young
And got handed a lot of money.
And was handed $1 million. Listen, a lot of us would have killed ourselves if we was just given $10,000, let alone $1 million.
That's generational wealth.
Right. So it's unfortunate that a young guy like this. I don't know the details of his accident, but I'm guessing that he bought a nice sports car of some kind with his advance because he was about to be drafted in the NBA.
He might have just leased it. Who knows? But he had in his possession.
Yeah,
one of those.
And they a lot of athletes have been ticketed for doing over 100 miles an hour in the city.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And he was known to drive over 100 miles in Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I deliver up there. I'm like, how the hell can you do it up here?
Right.
He did it.
It's so busy.
You driven up there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how the hell can you do it up here?
And packed.
He would drive like that up there.
That's crazy. So, condolences to the friends and family. If anybody knew Terrence Clark, our hats goes off to him. So moving on, what's the next thing you want to speak on?
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the George Floyd Chauvin case. And I just want to say, what kind of upset me about it, I'm happy the way the verdict went, but as I'm going to talk to Black America right now. Don't dance in the streets and don't celebrate like that because they threw you a cookie.
Man was still dead.
And the fact is, that was the verdict that was supposed to happen.
Yes.
We're celebrating something that should be. Like, I don't like when people say, oh, you know what? I took my mom out to eat. You're supposed to. Yeah. I cut my grass. You're supposed to.
I take care of my kids.
You're supposed to.
Right.
So, the guilty verdict came down. It was supposed to happen. Normally, it doesn't come down. We get that. But let's take this pebble and try to turn it into a boulder. So what I'm saying is, when you dance in the streets and you act like all this, that, and the third, they threw you a sacrificial lamb, and they're smiling about it. And this dude here, man, it's up to the discretion of the judge. What if the judge only gives him 2 years? You going to dance then? No, you're going to riot, which is understandable. So let's just hold everything back. But with the verdict, I'm very pleased that it did come back guilty. That shows a step in the right direction, and we need to build upon that.
Yes.
And now I'm going to talk to white America. White America. Every time a cop kills a black person, I talk to white people. They say, well, you should comply. You should, if they tell you to stop, stop. They tell you do this, do that, and most black people don't. I said, I get that. So now they're like, well, if you would just comply, you won't die. And I say you're wrong, and I prove out cases to where they're wrong. And I ask you this, white America, that always says, comply with what the officer says, and you'll live.
Right.
Did you comply at the Capitol building?
No.
Did you comply in Michigan when you wanted to kill that damn lady governor and they had armored cops and people out there and you spit on them? You did what you wanted to do. Did you comply there?
Gretchen Whitmer. They wanted to kill.
Yes. No, you didn't comply.
No.
So, and I've seen it countless times, you don't comply. And if that was black people that stormed the Capitol building, do you understand? They'd be still picking up fingers, ears, eyeballs of black people that got slaughtered on that line.
They would be done down.
So don't give me that. Miss me with the comply stuff. Your eyeballs see it.
Yeah.
And now it's time for you, white America, because like I said earlier in my opening statement, it's time for you, white America, to get on page with black America and start understanding the plight. Start understanding what's going on. Because it's not that we're wrong, you're wrong. And I can tell you how you're wrong. You're wrong by not understanding and not wanting to understand. Now, I'm not pointing the finger at all. Only thing I'm asking you is to comply. And there's one thing another thing you throw up that black on black crime. You know what? It's like, I get that. That's a horse of a different color. Black on black crime is a whole different issue.
Right.
But it stems from the systematic racism that we're all in the same community with nothing to eat. I'll tell you what, you want to see black on black crime, you see white on white crime, you see Asian on Asian crime, you kill who's in your proximity.
Yeah.
But black on black crime is highlighted because you choose to do nothing about it. Chicago. Man, come on, man. Come on. I don't even want to get into that. That's a podcast for a different subject. But you choose not to touch on that. And so what it is that if I tell you what, you can do it to yourself. You can give your own self an experiment. Get 10 hamsters. Don't feed them. They'll eat on each other. Throw one little piece of food out there. The ultimate will kill, the alpha will kill the other ones to eat that. That's what you guys do in the hood. You give us nothing, you take jobs away, you take everything away. But keep us there, and you know this as well as I know it. We want to feast on one another. But like I said, that's a horse of another color. So right now, don't bring up black on black crime. We're talking about the police and the government, which is the head of the state, which is the state, killing its own citizens. And we're going to talk about that, and I want you, white America, to just think about that. And here's the thing that's coming to fruition. Now, white America has been integrating with black America and so forth, that there's mixed children now of black and white ethnic groups, right?
A lot of them.
And guess what? Now it's starting to touch home. So you people are starting to come and see what we're talking about. But what I want you guys to do is do a self-analysis. Because like I said, 13.5%, once they kill us off, they're coming for you next. And they're coming for you right now, whether you believe it or not. Look at the job rates. Look at the pay rates. Just look at everything in the system. Everything is starting to come. And you're the next target. And what I'm telling you is this. I'm out here in the world. I see a lot of things. And I talk to a lot of people. Man, once they're going to feast on you too. And the way the government is, everybody wants to blame the government. There's other powers other than the government. And if you don't act now and we don't come together and find another party, because the Democrats will blame the Republicans blame the Democrats. That worked well for 55 years.
But before we move on, bro, I just wanted to say, when people talk about black people killing each other, white people kill each other too.
Exactly.
White people kill each other more than anyone else kills white people. Mexican people kill each other more than anyone else kills Mexicans.
But the media